just pepperoni.
There's all sorts of flavors over
There's
here.
pepperoni bacon too.
All right, Stu Balls.
You score 60 this week. Just remember that.
Yeah, you guys are in trouble.
No, we're
Yeah,
That's
that's right. All right, we ready to roll? Okay, guys. Kind of recapping last game. I just, a couple things really stand out. I think, the way our guys, embraced the opportunity, the way they kind of removed the clutter of the long trip and all the distractions to go out and beat a really good football team on the road. It's just something I'm really proud of. And, to see the Ram fans who, the energy that they had in that stadium. I mean, the people who traveled with us, and then the alums, and seeing Joel Dreesen and Weston Richburg, former players, that were there, and just to see the excitement after that ball game with those fans and those players. I think there's a real connection, moving forward, and our guys could feel the energy of our crowd, however many thousand miles it was away, and however many stops a plane took to get there. Okay, I'll let that drop. And but at the same time, it was very exciting. I'm proud of our kids. I'm happy for our kids, and I'm happy for the fans. That was a hard-fought victory, and one that I think could go down, in time to come. In the fashion that we hung in there and came back, didn't play well offensively early in the game, but then, got that drive right before halftime, and then, made some corrections. I thought the coaches did an outstanding job, reiterating the game plan, not making changes, but reiterating the game plan, and then our guys coming out and executing, on both sides of the ball. Talked about at halftime, defense just needed to get us a couple stops. They did, and we took advantage offensively, I thought, of what we needed to. And, obviously that last play, it really goes back to how they approached the week of practice. Our Monday had a high intensity and high energy. Tuesday was a little sloppy, which always is when you game plan, putting new things in. But how they attacked the practice was very important, and that carried over all the way into Friday's walkthrough, which I thought was our best of the year, and we did it in Gillette Stadium, which was exciting for everybody in the organization to be able to go do that, and yet it really tells you that it doesn't matter. You have it inside you, should you choose and make the decision to have the energy and the focus to be successful, and that's really what proved out in last week. So a lot of guys, our players of the game, we had quite a few on defense, Kowalik, Max Morgan, Aaron Davis, and really, Bernard Blake. And let me tell you something, I thought Elliott really stepped up and played the kind of game that he's capable of playing, in that game at corner. And, this will be a whole different outfit we're playing this week. They've got two wideouts. They got Lucas is fourth in the country in receptions. Garrett, a 6'4", 220-pounder on the outside that makes plays, and their quarterback, started 4 or 5 games last year. You can tell he has a grasp on what they're doing throwing the ball. He's 10th in the country in completions, and they're in the top 30 in throwing the ball, nationally. So, our guys have their work cut out for them from that standpoint, to really kind of see a different attack and now adjust this week to something that's, a little different than what they saw last week. So the preparation is going to be a key for us moving forward. And, obviously, the energy that was in that stadium for us was huge. the energy that we had in that first game in Denver was huge. And this being an orange out should be a beautiful day. I just, really look for that energy as we play at home. It seems like, the season's almost over, as you get into that, and yet we haven't. This will be our second home game. And, we've got a lot of good things ahead of us. So, injury-wise, I think we did pretty good, coming out of that game. Yet to be seen a little bit as far as Nuvali Fapito late in the game. We'll see where he's at. Who has been doing an outstanding job for us, obviously on special teams. We see where Joe Hansley is going into this week. Kind of expect him to be back and ready to roll. That's kind of part of the reason. And then, I thought let's not shy away from the fact that Kevin O'Brien did one heck of a job coming in at center and played a complete game. We didn't, switch through because he was very effective in that ball game, and I'm just so proud of him and how the guys around him, stepped up. Sam and Freddie and Moose and obviously having Ty back was huge. And he played like a dominating force in that ball game. So, I'm proud of the way those guys adapted to that, and then again, defensively, I can't say enough about what they did to give us an opportunity to win that ball game. So, it was good, and some of the little things that show up, punter holding for kicker, that turned out to be an important field goal, in that ball game. And you know what? They just stepped up and went and did their job, and that's a credit to those guys as well.
Was Garrett injured in that game at any point, or was he just beat up?
He was pretty beat up. He took some shots. He's going to be sore all week. And, ask anybody who's played the game at that position and see what a Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday feels like. He feels like he got run over by a truck, and yet, the way he hung in and really after a slow start, look at the third down efficiency in which he played that ball game, and then obviously the creation, of that last play, getting to his fifth option. Something that kind of goes unnoticed is how hard guys play, even when maybe they don't know or don't think they're going to get it. Not only Charles Lovett, but unnoticed is Elroy Masters on the crossing route that created that corner to either make a choice, one or the other. If either one of those guys aren't doing their job to their fullest, that play's not happening. And that's what I'm really proud of, this football team. The guy's unselfish nature. Another guy that because of the game plan and how we played it, really you saw us play KPL more at a linebacker type spot, which in turn, moved Stephen Michaels, Steve-O's reps down on defense. And yet 3 or 4 of the most important plays, their missed field goal. When you see what Steve-O did to sell out and knock, their tight end totally back into the holder and the kicker's vision, every single time, whether it was a PAT or whether it was a field goal, those little things that don't show up in the box score are what wins you ball games. And, I just can't tell you how proud I am of his effort and what he gave in that game, from that standpoint. So the reason I bring that up is, as an entire organization, the unselfish nature in which guys are being held accountable to each other. And as we talked about, after the ball game, come in and look each other in the eye. And, it's amazing. The guys that can't look at you probably realize they didn't drain their tank and leave everything out there. And this was a game where every person on that trip really gave their all.
Coach Beckton looked at your strides.
Mm-hmm.
And I know you script your first 8 plays. This year, in their 4 games, you have 3 3-and-outs, and then you have the 1 field goal against Boise.
Yeah.
Are you somewhat perplexed by how that's playing out right now?
You know, it's something we talked about and obviously have really looked at. You know, it's something we've got to perform better at. Last 2 games particular, 3 and out basically. And, the disappointing thing is for the first time this year, our defense actually flipped the field position for us, from the first drive. And so, it's something we've got to get better at.
It's technically the same path you took from last year. It's something that caught on like the 5th week. After that, I think 6 touchdowns, a couple field goals.
So now we got to wait 1 more week for it to be remedied. Is that right?
It would start this week.
Yeah. No, it's disappointing. There's no doubt about it. And but at the end of the day, when you look at it, was it us or them? It's maybe our anxiety. I don't know. There's nothing to be anxious about. You've practiced it 9 times, so you should know it pretty good. And so I think it's something that there again, you talk about free throw shooters. We've got a good offense. We've got a balanced offense. We've got playmakers. We've got an offensive line that's playing well. It's a matter of, look, you don't get into the paranoid state, and all of a sudden you can't shoot free throws. It really comes down to, just making sure that we're sound technically in what we're doing.
Grayson be able to practice all the week, or do you expect him to practice?
Yeah, I expect him, and there may be some limited reps because of it, which we do it. This wouldn't be the first time that the quarterback has had to take some mental reps during practice, and I think what this will do too is really show how he's matured as a quarterback. You read about that, and this being a pro sports town, obviously, there's times that quarterback gets beat up, and he's got to do the great job mentally when he can then start to function at a high speed level, which may not be until Tuesday or Wednesday, and yet we expect him to be ready to roll.
Yeah, there was some speculation that he may have had a collarbone injury late in the game.
The thing I got from our doctors was soft tissue? What exactly that means? That means a big, dark bruise, I guess, on an area where obviously your shoulder is, I guess. But nothing structurally is wrong, which soft tissue. I've got a lot of that because I'm really out of shape.
Well, and you actually had a shoulder doctor on that trip, Dr. Gray. So
Yeah, and he's with us the whole time. And look, guys, I'll go back. Our medical staff here, and we're very fortunate, and I've said this from the day I've gotten here. Our orthopedic center and the specialty guys that we have, they do a fantastic job, and as always, we'll do right by the player. As is my, that's the way we operate. So, he'll be, I don't expect anything to.
He didn't move his right arm at all when he talked to us after the press conference. It's just kind of not there. I figured he took a lot of shots.
Did you ask him what color jersey we were wearing?
No, you did talk about that. You forgot to tell him, so he blamed
Yeah,
you for the
I don't blame him then. Okay, that's me.
That's on you.
Yeah,
You remember this week?
that's right. It's orange. I looking forward to this week, guys. Again, with Egg Day, I think it's a great tradition. Us coming out in pumpkin orange and alfalfa green, and the uniforms themselves are not a symbol of flash. The uniforms are, paying the respects and paying the due to the Aggies. It's an actual uniform that is modeled after what they wore when we were Aggies, and I'm really excited about that.
You did
Yeah.
Garrett's he got injured ironically last year and missed the rest of the year against the year game. But the combination of them, how they set each other up, the big target on the outside, the smaller guy on the inside. Do they work very well in tandem?
Yeah, they do.
Defense?
And they spread you out, and you know they do a great job of keeping balanced with their run game. You know, a team that has been into 2 overtime games, and I just like the way their quarterback has a command of what they're trying to accomplish. He throws catchable balls. He's got a strong arm. They take shots, which historically has been an Achilles heel of us. So I look at this as a great opportunity and a challenge to shut down a nationally ranked offensive passing team, and with playmakers. I mean, the numbers don't lie, and they do a great job with that.
It's a tough transition given that you just went against one of the best rushing teams in
Yeah.
the country, against a quarterback that you wanted to make throw the ball.
Yeah.
And obviously it worked in your favor. Now you're going against a quarterback that obviously you probably love to make him scramble and run.
Well, and yet we tried that against Boise, and the guy killed us, because we didn't keep rush lanes. So to me, it's a full defensive, setup as far as what we need to do to be successful. And offensively, we've got to maximize our possessions, and to go on the road and turn the ball over twice, one of those, down in true scoring position, and come away with a win, man, that's really overcoming some adversity, and that's what our team's really learning to do. The next step is to create the adversity and come out and play, the way we're capable.
Can we single out Pierre Lewis as far as what he has meant to your defensive backfield and how that might fit into this week?
The physical nature in which he plays the game is what I really like. He brings an attitude, and he runs his feet and wraps up. And he lost contain one time on the edge. Here I go again. Those negative things that pop into my mind, right? But played a fantastic ball game from that end. But I look at our corners this week, as well as the safeties being able to, make sure that we're keeping the ball in front of us is going to be huge. They've got a tight end, number 16, that really keys a lot of stuff that they do in the play-action game. He actually carried the ball at running back a couple times. He's a transfer in there from Pittsburgh State, who won a national championship at the Division II level. I look at the multiplicity of their offense, and our guys are going to really have to be on task this week for us to have an opportunity to be successful.
Your offensive line, can you talk a little bit just about their development so far and what you've seen through 4 games?
Well, what I've seen is I really think our offensive staff has done an outstanding job of teaching the rules, and then our guys being accountable for what the mic point means, or the however you want to look at that, and then what comes off of that from a communication standpoint. And I think what you saw there is really a true group of guys who talked and communicated. I think you guys talked to Frazier this week. Is that right, Captain? And you can get a better feel for that. But I think the whole game, and these guys did some things defensively that are unique. They don't show up that have caused some other teams a lot of trouble. And I thought our guys handled it well. I think we missed 2. They changed up 34 and 52 in a look with a tight shade, that we were going to block 5-0, and they didn't want to have 52 in covering D and Treyas, out of the backfield, so they brought him inside, and 34 became the guy to do that in their man stuff. And we adapted to that. We missed it twice, but our guys knew it right away, and I thought that was huge. So our communication up front, was outstanding, and that's the first battle in being successful.
Was it also a big step forward? Because when you go back to the Boise game, you felt they got pushed around a little bit.
Thought we did,
They
yeah.
played a very physical team this week and pushed back.
Yeah, we did.
How
And
big a step was that for them?
and I think for our team, you're talking about a team that had won every fourth quarter moving forward. A team that we just played on their turf, that, their kind of pride was what they did to finish games, and I think we shut them out in the fourth quarter and won the fourth quarter, which is one of our goals as a team. And when you win the fourth quarter, there's something speaks volumes about your toughness, your resiliency, and you're willing to understand that every play has a history and life of its own. It doesn't matter where it is. Let's go do the best job we can do in that given moment. And, I like that. And, I'm going to go back. It was just cool to sit there and see that crowd that we had in that corner, the green and gold that was there, that traveled a long ways to support a really good group of young men. And then those people who had an opportunity that lived in that part of the country to come see the Rams play. And you know what? They could pump their chests out. And that was something that was, see our guys go over there at the end of that game, was something real special.
Jim, you guys looked like, and maybe it was to counter what they were doing defense, looked like you broke out a few more unique formations, different things to kind of test them out, the two tackles wide with the receiver behind them, and they defended it well. I know another time Treyas Gerald lined up as an eligible tackle in formation. Looked like was that intentional?
Absolutely.
Because they're so aggressive on defense to just say, okay,
Here's
we're going to play that back.
Here's what happened at I think at the end of the game is they did not know how to handle our shifts and motions, which then forces a defense to maybe become a little more vanilla, which there in turn allows you to just tee off and go. Whether that's how they thought, I don't know. I can't speak for them. But I can speak for what we saw towards the end of the game was, geez, what are these guys doing now? We put in a fat ox package where we shifted and Ty became, basically the tight end. Dave did a great job of putting a 6-play series off of that shift. Ran all 6. And the times we did it, I'm not sure we ever saw the same defense because I'm not sure, it was something new. And we try to do that every week offensively. It's called making the opposition burn some chalk. And, as we move forward in the year, then, defenses have to work on those unique things, which means they aren't necessarily focusing on inside and outside zone, which is our bread and butter. So that's something we've done offensively everywhere we've been, and it's something I believe in.
It just seems like I saw more of it as the game wore on, and obviously I would assume that takes away some of their aggressiveness. It forces them to be more of a read and react as opposed to the way they try to play defense, and it looked like that did have a big impact on the way that third and fourth quarter played out.
Again, I thought our offensive staff did an outstanding job of putting a plan together to help us be successful. I think the execution part was not good at first, and yet we didn't abandon it, and we came back and stayed with it, and our guys took advantage of it.
Every game you try to look for offensive balance, and it seemed like you guys came closer to that this week. Can you speak to that, how you liked your balance on offense?
Yeah, I thought it was, what SC have on them? 20 yards rushing? I felt our guys ran the ball effectively. We created some explosive plays in the run game, which then in turn, helps you throw the football. So, as I've said from day one, in our belief as a staff, is that you need to have a semblance of balance. if we've got to throw it every down, we're not going to be as successful. I thought there were some wideouts that really stepped up in that game, as well as the running backs catching the ball out of the backfield. So I thought it was good.
I was going to ask you about that. You're on average throwing twice as many passes to your backs this year as you did last year. You're getting more yardage out of it.
I think that's because of it's because of the type of the back, and I think more than that, it's Garrett's understanding that take what the defense gives you and eventually they give you the game.
Does that add another dimension to your offense that you're kind of liking? It gives you a different way to attack, keep a defense off balance?
No doubt. And again, we believe that you throw it where the read is, and whoever that is, I like the numbers of different guys getting involved in the offense. We tried to get Charles involved early. It just didn't happen. Garrett missed him on a crosser, out of empty that we kind of had in, and, some things like that. But here's a guy who waits till you just never know when the play is, right? And there again, he played the play the way it was supposed to, and look what happens. It's a really, I think that's a great thing.
I was going to say that last play has got to be one that you can use as a lesson for years to come. Because he was, as you said, the fifth option, just supposed to clear guys out, and yet he makes the touchdown catch for one.
That's right. But he's the same guy on the sideline that was like energetic the whole time. That's when I go back to that unselfish nature, and I talked about Steve-O, and his impact in that game might have been as impactful as anybody in that game. And what he played, 7 plays, 5 plays, whatever it was, right? And, Chuck, the same deal. And, guys, after a victory like that, and you see the excitement of all 70 guys or 72, whatever, that went on that trip, that really tells you something. And, the one or two that might be hanging their head or whatever, well, that should tell you that they're becoming irrelevant, because it's about the success of the team and not the success of the individual that's important.
Another thing I wanted to ask, your running backs, DeHart and Treyas have both shown their ability to keep a play going.
Mm-hmm.
Those are both of those guys, and we really saw it in this game where it looked like they were down, looked like they were wrapped up, all of a sudden it's another 5 yards.
What I saw is some guys that went back and understood about what it is to stick a foot and run behind your pads and not look to make everything a home run, which I thought they did a little bit in the Boise game, instead of fitting it and showing the physical nature in which they're able to play. I thought Jason Oden had a couple good runs in a very critical third down swing catch, which he took, stuck his foot, and went and got a first down. So those things at the running back position, that's got to be the mindset and the mentality, because you're going to hit a home run after you keep hitting them. You can't dance. And, I think Treyas and D and J.O. Are doing that at that position. I thought our 2 tight ends, I think, Nolan Peralta, you would look from a size standpoint and say he was overmatched, and yet he did an outstanding job blocking at the point of attack. And, Stephen Walker, I don't know how many catches he had, but he had some explosive plays, at that position. And that gives you a whole different kind of dynamic when you're trying to defend somebody. You know what I'm saying? Like, who do you stop, right? And I think that's triggered by Garrett's understanding.
How satisfied are you with the play you're getting out of these tight ends, given that Kevon's not even playing right now? Your best tight end is Andrew.
Well, let's take a look at, how you approach next man up. You know what I'm getting at? And, I think we can say that at a lot of different spots, and yet, obviously we'd be better with Kevon here. You know what I'm getting at? I mean, that guy's a weapon, man. And, But here's some guys stepping up. Jordan White comes in, has plays in there, which he's moved down and playing tight end. And, again, I credit our coaching staff for the ability to put the guys in position to make plays and coach them. And that's really what we're doing. So, I was on a flight that was 98 hours, stopping in every country and state in the United States. I can now officially say I think I've been in every state in the country, all in one trip. But no, I didn't. And but what a great win for Troy. The Front Range, obviously, I'm excited for them. And yet the Ram Falcon Trophy is something that's coming up, and I'm not ready to talk about yet. But, I'm excited for them and what they did. So,
How's the conference in general after those guys you have that seem like
I think, as I've said, and guys, because of whatever, we do a lot of national media stuff here, probably more than they do local, because they've got a lot of interest in it. And the Mountain West Conference is a heck of a conference. And there's good teams and good coaches and good players on every one of the teams. And, I think that it just goes to show, it's the preparation that it takes every week, to grind out a win. And, that's good for them.
Coach, it's kind of difficult to get a read on the conference race right now, and CSU and Air Force both step out of the league this week. Do you get anxious to get on with the conference schedule a little bit?
You do. I think that's a natural thing, and yet, we've got so far to go. We've got to take advantage of every game and not ever even look that way. And that's what good programs do. They take care of business week by week, and that's got to be what we do as well. Thanks, guys.
Thanks a lot, Coach. Appreciate it. Brian, you good here?
Satisfying is it with this offensive line to be playing the way you guys are, given kind of a makeshift throw together group with various injuries that keep happening and all the graduation losses?
It's been awesome, because we had to change a lot of people out of there, and so for Kevin to step up and Nick Callender to step up and have people step up in that time, it's been awesome, and having them play well, it's been great.
Do you feel like as a group you kind of made a statement with the physical nature in which you played this Boston College game?
Yeah. I mean, Boston College, they were holding they held USC to 28 yards or something like that rushing. So for us to come out and impose our will and rush for 160 or something like that, it was really good, and it was a lot of fun.
Did you feel like a more physical group than you did in the Boise State game?
Yeah, we did feel a lot more physical just because Boise State shut us down, and that's a testament to them being good on defense. But I don't know, we were just clicking out there, and it felt great.
Was there a different mindset though that you guys took into this game than into that Boise game that maybe made that difference as an O-line?
I mean, our whole mentality on the offensive line is just giving complete and fanatical effort in everything that we do, and so we just really kind of took that into this game and really kind of brought it back to the front of our mind, like, hey, this is what we're all about. And so to go out there and do that, is really what we wanted to do. So.
Your kid grew up following this program here in town. Just how big a win could that be for this program?
It's a huge win. Huge win. Is one of the things you're going to remember for a long time. After you graduate, when you come back for reunions, stuff like that, it's huge for the city, huge for the town. It's awesome.
When you guys look at your first drives of games, you generated 3 3-and-outs and then 1 field goal on the other drive. Are you guys perplexed considering how many times you go those scripted first 8 plays a week that you're not producing more on those opening drives?
Yeah, that's something that we've been struggling with, and we have to find a way to those are our first 8 plays, our best first 8 plays that are designed to score. And for us to go 3 and out is inexcusable, and so we have to find a way to execute and finish that first drive, because 3 and outs, it's not it's inexcusable.
Can you look back and pinpoint at anything that's stopping you on those plays and why they're not more effective?
It's just things that miss block here, miss assignment here. It's just little things that are kind of stopping us right now.
How were Kevin? I know he played well. How were his line calls and all that? Was he where he needed to be, or was he getting a lot of help from the rest of you guys?
I mean, Boston College, they brought a lot of interesting things defensively, and so it was kind of a collective effort from everybody up front. Saying hey, we're gonna point this guy, and got guys over here, and just making sure Kevin saw everything, that way he could make the right calls for us and stuff like that.
Almost a little surprising that he was able to do that well against this team, because it's a team that throws a lot of different things at you.
Mm-hmm.
The guy going in who's only played one other game in his career.
Right. He, I was happy for him. He just was able to come in. He played really well, and I wasn't surprised, because Kevin's he's a good offensive lineman, and so we trusted him in there to make the right calls, and he put in a lot of time this past week studying them, and so it's just a testament to him putting in work.
How impressed were you with the growth process so far of the offensive line, and really where do you see that you can still improve?
Well, obviously I'm ecstatic about what we've been able to do with so many changes, but there's growth to be made. We're going to go over this film from the Boston College game today and go through and say, hey, we got to get this fixed, There's always room to grow, and but I'm really happy with what we're doing with so far.
Been through a few of these orange out games. Is there any extra little juice when you guys put on those orange jerseys and head out to use?
The orange is always fun. So I mean, it's just another game to us. It's a big game because it's the next game. But putting on the orange, it's a lot of fun. You got to change up the atmosphere a little bit. So.
Is there any added incentive? These guys beat you last year. A lot of coaches felt like we should have won.
Yeah, last year coming off the Tulsa game, we were just kind of devastated because we were up in the fourth quarter and we kind of gave it away at the end, but. There's added incentive because it's the next game, and we have to continue this roll we're on right now and keep doing what we do.
I know conference plays, the rest of conference plays still another week off for you, but when you guys saw that Boise Air Force score, and all of a sudden that Mountain Division title that might have been out of reach is not. I mean, it looks like it could be a very wide open race for that conference title.
Yeah.
Is that kind of exciting too?
Yeah, that's exciting. Because that's part of our whole team slogan. The climb is getting to that that Mountain West Conference championship game and winning it. And so seeing that spot come back open is, just added more incentive for us to keep working hard and keep challenging ourselves.
It looked to us as if Garrett was pretty sore there on that right shoulder from one of those shots he took.
Mm-hmm.
How did he seem to you, and do you think he'll be okay this week, from what you know?
You're always, your heart always hurts after you turn around and you see your quarterback on the ground, because that means we're not doing our job right. But we just got to be a little bit better communicating up front with stuff like that. But he's gonna be fine. I'm pretty sure he's just got a little banged up, because he's standing back there taking shots. So on one of those, I know he got licked pretty good on one, but he'll be okay, I think.
What does it take? Because he looked like he was in some pain at the end of the game. But for him to make that last throw under as much pain as what does that tell you about your quarterback?
He's a player. He's the guy you want leading this team, because at the end when he's in so much pain as he was, and for him to stand in there and make a play like that, it's what you ask for. It's what you want. So.
None of you guys ever questioned his toughness, do you?
No, he's the guy.
Anything else for Saint?
Awesome. Western Civ.
Very nice.
Got a test this evening. So.
From what I understand. Was that meeting with the other Kevin Pierre? Beating his alma mater.
He wasn't too happy about that, but he was definitely happy to see me. We chatted for a little bit. He also invited me to come watch him play in Seattle, so it was a good deal.
Was that the first time you guys?
Yeah, it was the first time we met. We met online through our cousin's death, but we never met in person. This was the first time I actually got to meet him. Yep.
Just how satisfying was that win for you guys as a defense? This was a very powerful offense, one of the better running offenses in the country, and you guys really took it to them, shut them down.
Yeah, it was a good win for us. We always had the confidence all week through our defense. You know, our coach kind of give us the go ahead and show what we can do. We only the locker room is the only group of people who know what we could do. But it was definitely a good win for us. We take that very good, actually.
Did you enjoy your defensive role? Jim said you played more really of a linebacker role this week.
Yeah, I was in the trenches this week. I was in the D-line role. It's a tough place to be, actually, but I enjoyed it. It's a physical game, and I love all the physical kind of it, and got me a chance to see what those guys go through down there, and I'll tell you what, it's tough.
With Tulsa's passing attack, you're expecting a different game this week?
It's definitely going to be a different game. You know, they're a threat in the passing game. They're very good at the passing, what they do. We just got to, we're going to be prepared for it. So it's definitely something we should look for. It is, but that's why we got the best coaches we got. They're gonna do the best they can to put us in good position. So I'm actually looking forward to see what they got for us this week.
Have you seen much film on Tulsa? Are you familiar with it, or are you familiar with it?
I mean, they beat us last year, so.
I'll ask you on that. Then. This was a game that you guys really felt last year was a dud. You should have won. It shouldn't have been that close. Is there a bit of a payback mentality going into this week?
I mean, they're a different team, so you can't, count on what happened last year. It's the past. We move on from that. We're a different team, so we moved on from last year, but we do remember it. That's something we go in the game is that we remember what happened. So we're not gonna take this week easy, or we don't take any week easy, but we're not gonna let back on it. We just got to go practice on what we do, and hopefully that'll come out in the game Saturday.
Do you remember feeling like you really let one get away last year? The team felt that way in that game. Not just the way it ended, but the fact that you didn't explode in that game the way I think you guys kind of hoped.
It's not mostly let one get away. It's just a mistake we made, kind of. We just had to make a mistake. We were a young team. We made mistakes last year, and it's a mistake we grow from. We've grown from that year. But I think this year is going to be something good. We learned from that mistake last year, and just looking forward for Saturday.
You guys haven't played. You only have the one home game. It'd be nice to be at home again.
It's always good to be at home. It's always good to be at home in front of your fans. We got one of the best fans, I think, in the country. So it's always good to show them a good time back at home and everything. So it should be good.
Does that day mean a little bit to the players as much as it does to the fans?
Yeah, I think it means a lot to us. We get to wear different jerseys, and we get to go out there and give the alumni something they're missing out on. So it's a pretty good day. We take it serious. I believe I look good on anything, but yeah, orange. It's a cool color. I like it.
Anything else from KPL?
No.
I think that's about it.
No, yeah. Thank you.
Top that one.
Yeah.